All right, welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories and information found here can be found at our website, www.indiancountrynews.com, where your online membership or donation helps support the development of this television station. Here are some of the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A study commissioned by a group opposed to a Native Hawaiian government within the United States estimates it would cost the state of Hawaii hundreds of millions of dollars. The Libertarian Grassroots Institute of Hawaii's study released January 9th predicts a Native Hawaiian government would snatch public land and up to $690 million in state tax revenues per year. But the Office of Hawaiian Affairs said the report is based on fears and spreads misinformation because the Native Hawaiian legislation pending before Congress doesn't provide for land transfers or tax breaks. The $15,000 study was conducted by the public policy think tank Beacon Hill Institute at Suffolk University. It assumes residents and businesses of a future Native Hawaiian government would be exempt from state income and excise taxes similar to reservations of American Indians. The Bureau of Indian Affairs says a man whose body was found in a snowdrift on the Spirit Lake Reservation near Fort Totten, North Dakota, passed away from the cold. Special Agent Bentley Gray Bear says no foul play is suspected. The body of 24-year-old Sergio Hunt was found by a passing motorist last week in a snowdrift off State Highway 57 near Fort Totten. Authorities said he had left a house party after a fight and tried to walk to a nearby home in temperatures well below zero. An autopsy concluded he passed away because of hypothermia. Federal investigators used a helicopter last Friday to search the area where a missing Crow Agency family's vehicle was found, but no clues to help them locate the Little Light family were found there. Teddy Little Light, his wife Juliet Toineta Little Light, and their 3-month-old son Wyatt have not been seen from since December 23rd when they stopped at Little Light's mother's house to drop off Christmas gifts. The family was reported missing on January 3rd when Juliet failed to attend her grandmother's funeral. Matthew Pryor, the special agent in charge of the Bureau of Indian Affairs Office of Justice Services, said the January 9th aerial search did not turn up any clues. Little Light's pickup was found January 5th near Fort Smith. It has been impounded, according to Pryor. BIA and Bighorn County law enforcement officials searched the area on foot and all-terrain vehicles earlier in the week and found nothing, said Under Sheriff Rondell Davis. Officials hoped they would be able to spot something from there after snow melted during a warm weather spell on January 8th. The Oneida Nation of Wisconsin school system held their annual competitive science fair during December. There were over 105 student participants in grades 5 through 12 with 90 projects submitted. Local professional community members from the Oneida area volunteered as judges. 7 students from the winning projects will be sponsored by the Oneida Nation school system and compete at the National American Indian Science and Engineering Science Fair in St. Paul, Minnesota, March 26th through the 28th, where they will be competing against hundreds of other Native American student projects. President-elect Barack Obama's nominee for Interior Secretary, Colorado Senator Ken Salazar, has agreed to visit Montana after he is confirmed by the Senate. Salazar accepted an invitation from Democratic Senator John Tester to visit the state. The two met recently in Washington, D.C. Tester suggested he and Salazar visit the Blackfeet Reservation and tour the St. Mary Canal by horseback. The crumbling, nearly 100-year-old canal supplies water to thousands of people across northern Montana. Water users have been lobbying the government to help pay for needed repairs. Tester and Salazar also discussed Montana's energy future. Some Cherokee Nation counselors say a trip to attend the inauguration of Barack Obama as president is an unnecessary expense and they're canceling their trip. Counselors Jody Fishing Hawk, Bill John Baker, Tina Gloria Jordan, Joe Crittenden, and David Thornton will not attend the event. Fishing Hawk said she gets calls regularly from constituents who have been laid off and that both a $50,000 donation to the Obama's inauguration committee and the entire council attending the event are not in good taste at this time. Cherokee Nation businesses donated the $50,000 to the inauguration committee. Fishing Hawk says by not having the 5 counselors attend the inauguration, the tribe will save about $17,000. A spokesman for United Tribes Technical College Group says that their group will be making the march in the inaugural presidential parade, saying the trip will cost about $3,000 a person. United Tribes Chief of Staff Wes Longfeather has been leading the fundraising efforts for the group, which will represent all 5 North Dakota tribes and include veterans who have served in the Middle East. Most of them will be leaving on January 18th and returning the 21st. The 20-person contingent includes dancers and singers. Longfeather says marchers plan to sing an honor song in front of the presidential stand. Longfeather says many groups have donated money and helped with their arrangements. He says the trip is a little nerve-wracking because the number of people in town for the inauguration will be D.C. times 10. The leader of the Spirit Lake tribe at Fort Taunton, North Dakota, says a legislative committee on state and tribal relations should be made permanent. Spirit Lake Chairwoman Myra Pearson told a joint session of the North Dakota House and Senate that important issues have been discussed in meetings of the interim Tribal State Relations Committee. She said the discussions led to more money for tribal colleges, the sharing of oil and gas tax revenue, and state income tax exemptions. House Minority Leader Merle Boucher, who chairs the committee, agrees with Pearson. He says the meetings have helped state and tribal leaders understand each other's governments. Pearson says education is one of the most important issues facing the tribes. She says an educated and skilled workforce will solve many problems on the reservation. Wesley McKay enjoyed the opportunity to use his OG Cree language skills during a Kiwi-Tanuk Okiba-Canuck telemedicine annual Elders Christmas video conference during December, according to the Wawa Te News. The video conference was held in 27 communities across northern Ontario and British Columbia, while the Elders participants lunched and were provided entertainment by musicians and singers. The elders conversed with each other in Cree and Ojibwe and presented material in their native dialects while listening to fiddlers, children's choirs, gospel singers, native drum groups, and guitarists. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this broadcast and our digital mall partners, powwows.com, nativeview.com of Helena, Montana, and our newest partner, nishtv.com from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Thanks for joining with us.